Okay, so this is trigonometry. So we'll be covering few questions today on trigonometry. Some of the questions we already covered. Okay, so this is 2012 paper, question number 12, paper 2. So in this question, what they give you is a homeowner wishes to replace the 3 identical steps leading to her front door with a ramp. Each step is 10 centimeter high and 35 centimeter long. Find the length of the ramp. So they already give you the diagram there, which is something like this. So this length or the height is 10 centimeter and this is 35 centimeter. Okay, and the ramp is, you can draw like this. Okay, so find the length of ramp. So you need to find out the length of the ramp. So how will you find out? So in trigonometry we study two things. One is Pythagoras theorem and one is trig ratios. Pythagoras theorem is applicable when you are dealing with three sides. So square of the hypotenuse is equal to square of the opposite side plus square of the adjacent side. Trig ratios are sine, cos, and let's say tan. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan is opposite over adjacent. Okay. So in this case, we need to find out the length of the ramp, isn't it? So you can see that we are forming 3 right angle triangles here. And we know that this is one side 10 centimeter, this is the other side 35 centimeter. So basically you need to find out the third side. But what is this third side? This is hypotenuse in this triangle, because side opposite to the 90-degree angle is always hypotenuse. So you have to be careful here in choosing the side. So we can find out this length according to the first, let's call this first right angle triangle, this is second, and this is the third one. Okay, so in the first right angle triangle, you can say, let's call this x maybe. So x square equals to 35 square plus 10 square. So x square equal to 35 square plus 10 square. So we can calculate that. So this will give you 1225, and square of 10 is 100. So you will get 1325 x square. So x is equal to square root of 1325. So square root of 1325 is around 36.4. Okay, so that's the first length here. Now you don't need to do for the second and the third right angle triangle because they are identical. Why they are identical? Because this is 30, this is 10, this is 35, this is 10, this is 35 as well. So obviously you will get the same hypotenuse, so you don't need to do it again. But in order to write down the length of the ramp, the total length, and that should be x plus x plus x, or you can say 3 times of the x. So 3 times of 36.4, which will give you 109.2, and you can say centimeter. Okay, so this question is based on right angle triangle or the Pythagoras theorem. All they are asking for is the hypotenuse, basically in a different way. Okay, so there is another question in the same paper, question number 13. So There are two vertical poles, A and B, and both have the same height, h, and they are standing on the opposite sides of a level road. They are 24 meters apart, and the point P is on the road directly between the two poles. Is a distance x from pole A, okay? And the angle of elevation from P to the top of the pole A is 60 degree. So all this information they already give you in the diagram. So let us draw the diagram first. Something like this. So this total length is 24. This length is x. This length is h. This is 60 degree. This is 30 degree. And this is h as well. This is vertical pole B and this is vertical pole A. Okay. First question is write h in terms of x. H in terms of x. So which is basically in this triangle, isn't it? So again, this is a right angle triangle and you want to write down h in terms of x. Now, there are two options. You can use Pythagoras theorem or you can use trig ratios, but we will use trig ratios here because angle is given there. Okay. So the question is which one to pick, sine, cos or tan? Sine, cos or tan. So depending on what is given in the question or what they're asking for. So you can see that you don't know hypotenuse. So we need to pick a ratio which is without the hypotenuse basically. Okay. So, and that is 10. So tan 60 degree in this triangle can be written as opposite over adjacent, which is h over x. So h equal to x times tan 60 degree. Tan 60 degree, you can refer the table. It is root 3. The value of tan 60 degree is root 3. So you will get h in terms of x. Okay. So that was the first question, h in terms of x. Second part of the question is from the angle of elevation to the top of pole B, which is 30 degree. So you can see that it's given. Find the height of the two poles. So you need to find out the value of h. Okay. Now, how will you find out the height? So they're talking about this triangle, isn't it? So let's use a different color. So they're talking about this right angle triangle. Okay. And in this right angle triangle, if you look at the base or adjacent, it's 24 minus x because the total length is 24 and minus x will give you the remaining, which is the adjacent of green triangle. 24 minus x. So again, I would pick tan 30 degree because I am dealing with opposite side, which is h, and adjacent, which is 24 minus x. I don't know the hypotenuse, so I don't need to use sine or cos then. And they are asking you to find out the value of h, isn't it? But there are two unknowns here, h and x. So you cannot solve this equation directly. So that is the reason they ask you the previous question where you can write down h in terms of x, isn't it? So first, what you can do is I will eliminate h and I will just focus on x, let's say. Okay. So value of h is root 3x according to this equation, the first equation. So this is your equation in x now. So what is the value of tan 30? Tan 30 is 1 over root 3. You can use your calculator if you want. And now all you need to do is simplify. So how will you simplify two fractions, one on the left and one on the right? You do cross multiplication. So 1 multiplied by 24 minus x will give you the same thing. And root 3 times root 3x. What is root 3 multiplied by root 3? It's 3. So you got 3x here. So 24 equal to 3x plus x. So I'm moving x to the other side, and therefore it will give you 3x plus x, 4x. So 24 divided by 4 is 6. So we got x, which is equal to 6 meter. But they did not ask for x, they asked for h. But now you can easily find out because h is root 3 times x. So x is 6, so answer is 6 root 3, which is the height of the pole, okay, of the two poles, because they are the same height. So in majority of the cases or questions in trigonometry, you will see a right angle triangle, and then if they are dealing with or asking for, or they give you the angle, make sure you use trigonometrical ratios. Which one to pick depending on what you know, what you want. Okay, so based on that you can use sine, cos or tan, but generally they give you question where you can use tan. Okay, so that is one question. I think we probably did this question already. Okay, let's try this one. This is 2014, question number 13. So first part of this question is, use the diagram on the right to calculate the value of x. So you have a diagram and you can see that it is a right angle triangle. You have the opposite side, you have the adjacent side, and you have the hypotenuse, which is x, let's say. But we need to find out the value of x and write answer in terms of insert form. So you are dealing with three sides, so you need to use Pythagoras theorem. So x square equals to 3 square plus 3 square, and that will give you 9 plus 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. X is equal to square root of 18, and if you use calculator you can break it down into um, 3 root 2. How I got 3 root 2? It's a simple algebra. Root 18 can be written as 9 multiplied by 2. Why I'm writing 9 multiplied by 2? Because I know that square root of 9 is 3. So I can take square root of 9 as 3, and you left with root 2. So, but you can use calculator if you want. So x is equal to 3 root 2. That's the answer for the first part. Similarly, they give you another triangle, and this time this is 1, this is y, this is 3. So again you need to find the value of what is you left it at, what is you left if at root 18. Should be fine because root 18 is also written in third form, but generally they expect you to write down the simplified version of that, but you will get marks for that. Generally they don't deduct marks for such a small thing. Of course, if they say write down in decimal form, and if you leave it like root 18, then probably they will deduct marks for that. Okay, so it depends on the marking scheme. Okay. Okay, so next is we need to find out the value of y in third form. Now, what is my hypotenuse here? Hypotenuse is 3 because it is opposite to the 90-degree angle. So you have to be careful with the choice of hypotenuse. So 3 square equal to y square plus 1 square. Okay, so based on that, Based on that, you will get 9 equals to y square plus 1. So 9 minus 1 equal to y square. So y square equal to 8. So y is equal to square root of 8. Again, you can split this into 2 root 2. Now, the calculator is allowed in your exam anyways, isn't it? So you don't need to worry about it. You just put it in the calculator and get the answer. Okay. Somebody is asking for the email. It's the same email. Okay, so that's the answer for the second part of this question. Now, third part is a rectangle with sides of length x and y is drawn using the values x and y from part 1 and part 2. So in part 3, what they are doing is they are drawing a rectangle. Obviously, rectangle has length and width, isn't it? And this length is same as what you got in the first part, and width what you got in the second part. You know that value of x is 9 root 2 from the first, sorry, 3 root 2. 3 root 2 from the first part, and from the second part, value of y is 2 root 2. Now, Michael ask you this question: why we need to change? Do we need to change to, simple version like 3 root 2, 2 root 2? According to question number 3 here, you should. Why? Because if you read the question now, write the perimeter of this rectangle in the form of a root 2. In the form of a root 2. So if you write just root 18 and root 8, then you won't be able to simplify, isn't it? So you have to do it anyways. And you can do it using the calculator, but I'll give you simple logic how you can do that. So root 18 can be written as 9 multiplied by 2. Square root of 9 is 3. So 3 root 2 like this. Anyways, what they want is the perimeter. And what is the meaning of perimeter? Perimeter means sum of all the sides. So you need to add all the sides. So obviously you have y here and x here. In a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. And you have 4 sides there. So you can write down perimeter as 2x plus 2y, isn't it? So 2x, what is the value of x? 3 root 2. 2y, value of y is 2 root 2. So based on that, you will get 6 root 2 plus 4 root 2. And I can easily add them now. 6 root 2 plus 4 root 2 is 10 root 2. But if you leave it like root 18 or root 8, then you cannot add directly until unless you simplify this to root 2 like this. So they said give your answer in terms of a root 2, which we got it. And this is actually your a. And what they said, a belongs to n. N means natural number. So 10 is a natural number. So this information is given just to verify that your answer is correct. So you got 10 root 2. 10 is a natural number. Okay, so your answer is correct. Okay, let's try this question. (2014) question number 7. So again, they give you the diagram. The diagram below shows part of the frame of a swing on a coordinate grid. Each unit on the grid represents 1 meter. So each unit means 1 square there represents a length of 1 meter. Line segment AB and AC represent metal bars. They are metal bars. So you can see that the metal bars on the swing at the end. So that is what they are drawing here. Now, first question is straightforward. Write the coordinates of ABC. So what is the coordinate of A? What is the coordinate of B? And what is the coordinate of C according to the diagram there? Can you answer? Anybody answer? What is A? What is B? What is C? A is 0, 5. Very good. Because it is on the y-axis. So the x coordinate has to be 0. B is minus 5, 0. Sorry, minus 4. The point is, it looks like on the minus 5. So that's minus 4, 0. And point C is 4, 0. Okay. Because it's on the positive side of the x-axis. So that was the first question, which was straightforward. Second part of this question. Find the total length of metal bar needed to make this part of the swing. So total length of the metal bar means what? It means you need to find out AB, which is the first one, and then you need to find out AC. So that will give you the total length of the metal bar, isn't it? They said to make this part. So they're not talking about the full swing, let's say. So AB plus AC is the total length, and all you need to do is find out AB. So how will you find out AB? So you can clearly see that in the diagram, it's a right angle triangle. This is A, this is the origin, this is B, and there is a right angle triangle on the other side as well, which is, let's say, C. And you can see that the height of this triangle is 5 and the base is 4. So I'm just writing the length. So you don't need to write down minus 4 because the length is always positive. So minus 4 is the length. And on the other side is also 4. Okay. So let us find out AB, which is the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. Okay. So square of AB equals to 5 square plus 4 square. And based on that, I will get 25 plus 16, which is 41, isn't it? So AB equals to square root of 41. Now you can read the question now. Give your answer in meters, correct to 1 decimal place. So first of all, that's the value of AB, and that should be equal to AC as well. Why? Because you can see that in the other triangle, it's the same thing, same height and same base. So obviously you'll get the same hypotenuse. So AB plus AC, so you will get 2 root 41, and now you can use calculator. So 2 times root of 41 will give you 12.8 meters. Okay, that's the total length of metal bar needed to make this part of the swing. Now the next part of this question is find the slope of AB and slope of AC. So what do you mean by slope? Slope means rise over run. Okay, that's the simple definition of slope. So if you have a line like this, so you can consider any 2 points on the line like this. So I'm considering this point, and let's say this point. This would be your rise and this would be your run. Rise and run. So rise over run is rise over run will give you the slope of the line. So let us find out the slope of AB. Now you already know that slope of AB means what's the rise in this case? 5. And what's the run? 4. So 5 over 4 is the slope of AB. Okay. Similarly, slope of AC would be the same, 5/4, but you need to put a negative sign here. And the reason for negative sign is because it is declining, it's going down. Okay, so if the line is drawn like this, it has a negative slope. If it is drawn like that, it has a positive slope. Okay, so you find out the slope using rise over run, but you need to put a negative sign if it is declining. So that is the idea for this. Now, next thing which they're asking for is AB perpendicular to AC? They're saying, is AB perpendicular to AC? Yes or no? What do you think? If you say yes, what's the reason? If you say no, what's the reason? Anna said no, but why? What would be the reason why they are not perpendicular? You cannot say simply, okay, they're not looking like a perpendicular. Their slopes multiplied by each other don't equal to minus. Yeah, that's perfect. So two lines are perpendicular when, let's say, the slope of one line is m2, m1, or the other line is m2. The product of the slope has to be -1. That's the concept of coordinate geometry. So we haven't covered that. So hopefully you have covered this in school at the moment. So the product of the slope has to be -1, and you can clearly see that slope of AB is 5/4, slope of AC is -5/4, and it's not equal to -1. So the answer is no. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next part of the question. Madison draws the scale diagram of the triangle OAB shown on the right. She marks in the angle X. Okay, so you can see in the diagram there. And recall that AB is a metal bar, which is part of the frame. So it's basically the same triangle. You can see that it's the same triangle which they are drawing here, which I already drawn here, isn't it? So that's green triangle they're talking about. And they're just saying that this is X, this angle is X. Okay, so nothing new here. And what they want in this triangle is to find out the value of 10x. So 10x in a right angle triangle, 10 means opposite over adjacent. So answer is 5/4. But next step is to find out the value of this angle. So in order to find out the value of the angle, you need to do tan inverse of the other side. Now, tan inverse, first of all, a lot of students have this confusion or misconception, I would say, that we are moving tan to the other side. No, we are not moving tan to the other side. So tan inverse does not mean 1/10. Okay, that's not the same thing. This is just a notation. If you write tan inverse, this is just a notation for the angle, because inverse function represents an angle. Okay, if you really want to write down, what you say is to the power -1, you should say something like this: 10x to the power -1, like this, and that means 10x 1/10x. But tan inverse function is not 1/10. These are two completely different things. And second thing is, you cannot divide by 10 like this, because 10 has no meaning. 10 has no meaning without an angle. If I write simply sine, it has no meaning. Okay, sine of the angle has a meaning, but sine on its own has no meaning. It's the same as log. Log has no meaning until unless you say log of 2. Okay, so if somebody say what is log, doesn't make any sense. You have to say log of something, isn't it? Log of 2 or log of some number. So that's the idea. So you have to be careful with these kind of misconception. So we are not moving 10 to the other side. We are just saying that the angle is equals to 10 inverse of 5 over 4. And the inverse function is given in your calculator. So we can find out 10 inverse of 5 over 4. And this will give you angle x equals to, correct to 2 decimal places, so 51.34 degrees. Okay, that's it. Now, next part of this question. In order to increase the height of the swing, it is decided to increase x by 20%. So they want to increase the height of the swing. Let's say for grown-ups. It is decided to increase x by 20%. The distance AB will be kept the same. So you're not changing AB, okay? But you are increasing angle by 20%. So what's the current angle? 51.34. So you need to find out 51.34 plus 20% of 51.34. So you're increasing x by 20%, which means 51.34 plus 20% of 51.34. So let's find out. So around 61.6. Okay, let's call this a new angle or new x. They're asking you to find out the new height. So if you draw a triangle again, the same triangle, and this time the angle is 61.6, and they want to keep AB as it is. What was the value of AB? If you go back, we calculated here. AB is root 41, isn't it? Square root of 41, which is obviously 6.4, isn't it? So AB was 6.4. Okay, and you want to find out the new height. Let's say h prime. So how will you do it? Again, I know the hypotenuse. I want opposite side. So I should use sine 61.6, which is opposite over 6.4. So that's why I told you, when they give you the angle or they ask for the angle, you need to use trig ratios, and which one to pick depending on what you know and what you want. What you know, hypotenuse. What you want, opposite side. So that's why we have to use sine. So h prime equals to 6.4 times sine of 61.6, and then you just use the calculator. So this is giving around 5.63. Correct to 1 decimal place, so you can simply say 5.6. Okay. This is the new height. This is the new height when you increase the angle by 20%, keeping the same. Okay, so you are not changing the length of the AB. AB is what? AB is the metal bar. So you're keeping the same length, but without changing the length of the metal bar, you increase the height of the swing. Why we need to do this? Because you can save money on making, you know, you don't need to change. You don't need to change the metal bar. With the same metal bar, you are just increasing the height. So it means you're not putting any extra money on that. Okay, if you take it in that sense. Okay, let's do question number 11, 2015 paper. So all you need to do is find the height of these two triangles. Both are right angle triangles. This is 5, this is 4. This is also right angle triangle. This is 13, this is 12. Let's call this H1, this is H2. So the height, which one is hypotenuse? 5 is hypotenuse, 13 is hypotenuse here. So square of 5 equal to H1 square plus 4 square. Okay. So 25 equals to H1 square plus 16. 25 minus 16 equals to H1 square. 9 equal to H1 square. So H1 equal to square root of 9, which is 3. So we got the height of the first triangle. Okay, we already did that question. Okay, this one as well, part B. Then it's fine. So you can get the height from this as well using Pythagoras theorem. And then, okay, so I will skip that then. Probably this one as well. Okay, so that's not bad. I would just skip that. Different triangular base. Okay, we can try this one. This is 2016. Question number 8. Now, what you need to do, you need to change 2 degrees, 43 minutes, 5 seconds in decimal, in degrees, in pure degrees, and in decimal form. So at the moment, you have 2 degree, 43 minutes, 5 seconds. But you need to convert into just degrees. And obviously, you will get answer in decimal form. Okay. So before you jump into this question, you should know what's the conversion factor. So for example, 1 degree is equals to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. That's the conversion factors, okay, which you should know. So how to deal with these kind of questions? So you need to work from backwards. So basically this way. Okay. How will you work this way? So start with 5 seconds and convert into minutes. So how will you convert 5 seconds into minutes? You need to divide by 60. So what you will get? 5 divided by 60. So this will give you 0.08, let's say 3. Okay. So this is giving you answer in terms of minutes. Okay. Next is 43 minutes. So 43 minutes plus 0.083 minutes will give you 43.083 minutes. Okay. So we converted 43 minutes 5 seconds into just minutes. And now 43.083 minutes you need to convert into degrees. So you need to divide by 60 again. So 43.083 over 60. And this will give you 0.71. And this add up to 2 decimal places. So 18. 18 means let's keep it 2. So 0.72 degrees. Okay, so let me explain again. This was in second, so I'm converting into degrees. So you need to go from right to left, starting from seconds, 5 seconds. So 5 seconds, if you want to convert into minutes, you need to divide by 60. So you got minutes, and this minute you add to 43 minute, which is given in the question. So to get the total minutes, this minutes you convert into degrees again by dividing by 60. So you got 0.72. And what was the degree here? 2 degree. And what's the extra degree you got? 0.72. So your final answer is 2 plus 0.72, which is 2.72 degrees, like this. Okay, so convert second to minutes, add to the minutes given in the question, and then do the final conversion from minute to degrees. And here second to minutes. Okay, so this is how you convert everything into degrees. Now this is the other way around, 3.14 degrees, and you need to convert into DMS. DMS means degree, minutes, seconds. So this is the same question, but it's the other way around. You need to convert degree into minutes and second, degree, minutes, seconds, like this. So how will you do that? So first 3.14 degree, you split as 3 degree plus 0.14 degrees. Okay, like this. And this 0.14 degree you convert into minutes, but now you need to multiply by 60 because you are converting from degree to minutes. So what's the answer? 0.14 times 60. So this will give you 8.4 what? Minutes. Okay, so we got 3 degree 8.4 minutes. So this 8.4 you split into 8 plus 0.4 minutes now, or 8 minutes plus 0.4 minutes, and this 0.4 minutes you convert into seconds. So 0.4 divided by 60, sorry, 0.4 multiplied by 60. So 0.4 multiplied by 60 because you are converting into seconds. 24. So 24 you got answer in seconds. So you got 3 degree 8 minutes 24 seconds. That's the answer. Okay, so 3 point, that was your question, 3.14 degree. So you split 3.14 degrees as 3 plus 0.14. Okay, you convert that into minutes, you will get another decimal there, and that decimal point you convert again into seconds. So you will get 3 degrees 8 minutes 24 seconds. That's the idea. Okay, so the next part of this question is the diagram shows a right angle triangle. Diagram shows a right angle triangle. You can see that. And this is a right angle triangle. This angle is A, which is given. Given that cos A is equals to sine A in this triangle, let's call this triangle PQR. Okay, and they already give you cos A equals to sine A, and they want you to prove that this triangle must be isosceles. Isosceles means two sides must be equal. So you need to prove that two sides are equal in this triangle if cos A is equal to sine A. So what is cos A in this triangle? Obviously you don't have any lengths, so you can use the side as it is. Cos A can be written as adjacent, which is RQ, over hypotenuse, which is PR. Similarly, sine A can be written as opposite, which is PQ, and over hypotenuse, which is PR. Okay, and then you can simply cancel this and you will get RQ equals to PQ, which means this side equals to this side, which proves that this is an isosceles triangle. Okay, that's it. See, in mathematics, if you see any problem, it's the same thing. They will give you something, they will ask you something, isn't it? Give you something is given, and they will ask you to solve something, or they will ask you to find out something. You need to create a bridge between what you know and what they want. Okay, so what you know in this question is this. What you want is this. So you just have to create a bridge using concepts, types of triangles. Very good, no worries. So there are different types of triangles. First is scalene triangle. Scalene triangle means, let's call this ABC. AB not equal to BC not equal to CA. So all sides are different. That's called scalene triangle. Then you have isosceles triangle. So in fact, I don't need this diagram, let's say. So in isosceles triangle, two sides must be equal. Any two sides. It can be any two sides. So AB is equal to AC, but not equal to, let's say, BC. So these are called isosceles triangles. Okay. Then you can have equilateral triangle where all sides are equal. That's called equilateral triangle. So these are three basic ones. But now, so this is, you are kind of characterizing the type of triangle based on the sides. Okay, but you can also tell the type of triangle based on the angle. Okay, so based on angle, you can say if one angle or one of the angle is 90 degree, you can say right angle triangle. If one of the angle is obtuse, okay, this angle is obtuse. Obtuse means greater than 90 degree, less than 180 degree. So you can say obtuse angle triangle. And obviously, if all angles are acute, you can say acute angle triangle. Okay, so these are different types of triangle, but the important ones are right angle triangle, isosceles triangle, equilateral triangle. Well, you know, based on that, they can ask you questions. Okay, so the last part of this question. A right angle triangle has sides 7, 24, 25. They're asking you to find the smallest angle in this triangle. So first of all, it is a right angle triangle. I know three sides, 7, 24, 25. But which one is hypotenuse? How will you decide? Which one is hypotenuse and why? Seven is hypotenuse. No. 25 is hypotenuse, Anna said, which is correct, because it is the longest side. So hypotenuse is the longest side in a triangle or in a right angle triangle. Okay, so this is the easiest way to identify which one is hypotenuse, because they did not give you, isn't it? They just said three sides are 7, 24, 25. So that is the first possibility where student makes mistakes, because if you choose the wrong side as your hypotenuse, you're gone. So hypotenuse is the longest side. Well, the definition is, this is more like a property of the hypotenuse, that, or property of the right angle triangle, that it is the longest side, but you can identify hypotenuse using the triangle as well if it is given. In this example or in this question, they did not give you the diagram, isn't it? And that is the reason you cannot predict. So you have to predict based on the longest side, and that is 25. But if they give you the diagram, the side opposite to the 90-degree angle is always hypotenuse, irrespective of the orientation of the triangle. So if I say this is 90, I will say this is the hypotenuse. Okay, if I draw something like this, okay, and this is 90 degrees, so I should call this as hypotenuse. Okay, so this is very important. Side, two things: side opposite to the 90-degree angle is always hypotenuse. Don't worry about the orientation of the triangle, just find out where is the 90-degree angle, and opposite to that is hypotenuse. I'm teaching leaving cert as well, and I can see a lot of students don't even know this. You know, when you keep. Yeah, sure, Eva, you can ask the question. So it's very important. If you change the orientation of the triangle, doesn't matter. You just check where is the position of 90-degree angle. Opposite to that is always hypotenuse. Okay, without any doubt. And if they don't give you the diagram, then you need to see the longest side. That should be your hypotenuse. So that is one important concept which you can understand from this question. Second important concept which you can understand here is that they're asking for find the size of the smallest angle. How will you decide which one is the smallest? So for your convenience, I can draw a right angle triangle for this question, and we know that this should be your hypotenuse, which is 25. And for other two sides, it doesn't matter. I can use, let's say, this as 24 and this as 7, or vice versa. So that is not going to create any problem. But that is the question is, find the smallest angle. So which one is the smallest angle? I can write down ABC for your reference. So which one is the smallest angle and why? Eva said C. How about Michael, Anna? Which one is the smallest angle? Michael said A. Anna said ACB. ACB, which means C, isn't it? So Anna said C, Eva said C, but Michael said A. Okay. A is the correct answer. Now, first of all, Michael said A. Why? Why you said A is correct? Did you guess, or there's a logic? Why angle A is the smallest angle, do you think? No, it's not because 7 was the base. Okay, so Mike, so that's the thing, you know. It's the two longest side. Well, you cannot say two longest side. Longest means just one longest. Longest is just one. Okay, the logic is side opposite to the or sorry, I should say angle, because we are talking about angle. Angle opposite to the smallest side is the smallest angle, is smallest. So 7 is the smallest side. So the angle opposite to that would be the smallest angle. And the same thing, angle opposite to the longest side. I was the same line as the right angle, same line as the right angle. Okay, I don't understand what you mean. Same line as the right angle. So smallest side, okay, you need to spot on the smallest side, and the angle opposite to that is the smallest angle in the triangle. And the same logic works for longest side as well. Okay, so you can see that the longest side is 25. So the greatest angle is 90 degree because the other two angles are obviously less than 90 degree. Okay. So this is a very good question actually. It looks very simple, but it is not if you don't know the concept. So they want you to find out angle A actually in this triangle. Now, question is, how will you get angle A? Any idea? So you have a triangle, you have the sides, but you want angle A. How will you get it? Hypotenuse? How will you get it from, but how will you get it from hypotenuse? Sine A, and Anna said sine A is 7/24. Your approach is correct, but your answer is not correct. Your approach is correct because we want angle, so we need to use trig ratios. Okay. Yes, I'm explaining. So first of all, I'm interested in the angle and it's a right angle triangle. So I have two options. I can use Pythagoras theorem or I can use trig ratios. Pythagoras theorem is not required here because you know three sides already, 24, 25 and 7. So your options are you use sine, okay, cos or tan. Now in this case, you can use any of them, doesn't matter because you know all the sides, isn't it? So you can use sine A, cos A, tan A in order to get the angle. But let's say I'm using sine A, and the reason Anna's answer is not correct because sine A is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite side is 7, but the hypotenuse is 25, not 24. Isn't it? Opposite over hypotenuse, and 25 is the hypotenuse. So see, these are very simple stuff, to be honest. But if you make mistakes, you won't be getting marks for this. And believe me, 20 to 30% of the marks students lose just because of silly mistakes like this. And you can, if you want, you can just check your previous exams and you will see the percentage will vary depending on how nicely you are doing the questions. If we ever said if you write formula correct, do we get anything? Yes, in general, according to the marking scheme, they give you marks. For example, if you use like you used here sine, like sine, Anna used sine equals to something. So there is a right approach there, isn't it? So they will give you some marks for that, although you made a mistake in getting that exact value. So it depends on the marking scheme. Generally, yes, you get marks for the steps and for using the formula, the right formula. So A is equal to sine inverse of 7/25. Okay, and then you can use calculator. So pretty much we finished that. Okay. Oops. Pretty much we finished that, and it's all the matter of doing more questions and more practice. But it all comes to the concepts, how nicely you are using the concepts. Okay. Who wanted to ask some question? Somebody wanted to ask question. Eva, isn't it? Yeah. So what was the question? Oh, it has been covered already. Okay, that's good. Thank you very much for attending the class, and I will upload this video on our YouTube channel so you can revisit. Okay, and enjoy your Easter. Okay, thank you. Bye.